The elevator doors opened with a soft ding, and I stepped out, smoothing the wrinkles in my blouse with trembling hands. 7 months pregnant, heart pounding, I walked into the sleek lobby of Whitmore and Company, a marketing firm so prestigious I'd rehearsed for this interview in the mirror every night for 2 weeks. But nothing in that mirror showed the ache in my back or the nerves swimming in my belly now. "Name?" the receptionist asked, without looking up. "Emma Collins. I have a 10:30 appointment with Mr. Blake. She barely acknowledged me, just tapped a few keys. He's running late. Sit." I lowered myself into the nearest chair, one hand instinctively resting over my bump. A man in an expensive suit walked past and gave me a once-over like I was a mistake someone forgot to clean up. 30 minutes passed before a tall man in a charcoal blazer finally appeared, glancing at a tablet. "Emma Collins," he said briskly. "Yes?" I stood, brushing imaginary lint from my skirt. "Thank you for seeing me." He led me to a glass-walled office without a word, then gestured for me to sit. I took the chair slowly, trying not to wince. "Let's get to it," he said. "Your resume looks promising. But I have to ask," his eyes dropped to my belly, "how do you plan to juggle this and a demanding full-time role?" I blinked. "Excuse me." He leaned back, folding his arms. "We're not exactly a babysitting service. I mean, should I be expecting a maternity leave request before you even start?" My throat closed up. I forced a smile. "I assure you I'm fully capable. I've worked up to this point and I'm prepared to—" He cut me off. "Prepared? You can't even sit without adjusting every 5 seconds." Heat rose in my cheeks. "That's out of line." "Maybe," he said, not the least bit sorry. "But let's be real. We need someone who can hit the ground running, not waddling in and out for doctor appointments." I gripped the manila folder in my lap. My references, my experience, my last piece of dignity. I opened it, pulling out the final page. The ultrasound. I laid it on the table. The room went silent. "What's this?" he asked, leaning forward. "Evidence," I said, voice calm but sharp. "That I'm doing more than you'll ever understand. I'm growing a life while trying to build one. And if you can't see the strength in that, then maybe I'm the one doing the interviewing here." His face turned unreadable. I stood, ultrasound still on the table. "Thanks for your time," I said. "But I won't work for someone who sees a liability where there's resilience." And I walked out. What I didn't see was him staring after me, staring at the name printed on the ultrasound. Because that wasn't just any child. It was the one he never knew existed, and the mother he just insulted was the woman he left behind. It wasn't until I was halfway down Fifth Avenue that the tears came. Angry ones, frustrated ones, the kind that burn your throat because you didn't even realize how much you were holding back. I found a bench in the park and sat heavily, hand resting protectively over my bump. I wasn't crying because I didn't get the job. I was crying because I'd tried so hard to keep my dignity, only to be mocked by someone who had no clue what I was carrying. Then my phone buzzed. A number I didn't recognize. "Hello? Emma?" A pause. It's Blake. From the interview." My heart skipped. "What do you want?" Look, can we talk?" he said. "Please, in person." I hesitated. "Why?" "Because I just realized something. About you. About that ultrasound. About us." He didn't need to say it. I could hear it in his voice. The name on the scan. His. "I'll meet you," I said. But not alone. We met at a cafe not far from the office. I brought my friend Kayla just in case. Blake was already seated, sipping coffee, eyes flicking toward the door every few seconds. When he saw me, he stood awkwardly. "Emma, you look good." I ignored the compliment. "What do you want to say?" He exhaled. "That I didn't know. About the baby. About you. I swear, if I had known, you would have still walked away," I said. He flinched. "Look," he said. "We were young. I was scared. I didn't handle it right. But now, I see you. I see what you're carrying. And I want to help." "Help?" I asked. "By hiring me out of guilt?" "No," he said. By taking responsibility, financially, emotionally. However you'll let me. I stared at him. You're the father, I said quietly, but I'm the one who stayed, who worked, who carried this alone. I know. He looked down. And I'll regret that for the rest of my life. For the first time, I saw sincerity, real fear, real remorse. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said. I don't expect you to. We sat there in silence, two people with too much history and too little time. I'll think about it, I said finally, but don't expect this to be easy. I won't, he whispered. And somehow, that was a beginning. A week later, I was back at the clinic. Routine checkup. But something in the nurse's voice made me sit up straighter. Doctor, Nasser wants to see you immediately, she said. My stomach dropped. He came in gently. Emma, we noticed something. A slight irregularity. Nothing conclusive yet, but we need to run further tests. What kind of irregularity? I asked, voice shaking. He hesitated. The baby's heartbeat is fluctuating. Could be stress-related. Could be something else. My mind spun. I've been trying so hard, I whispered. Why now? Let's take it one step at a time, he said. Come in tomorrow for the ultrasound. That night I lay awake in bed. Blake texted once. Thinking of you. I didn't respond. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew I wasn't facing it alone anymore. The next morning I sat in the dim exam room, gel on my belly, watching the screen like my life depended on it. Because in many ways, it did. The technician moved the wand slowly, then paused. I'll be right back, she said. Dr. Nasser came in, took over, his brows furrowed. Then he smiled. Everything's fine, he said. Scare was a false alarm. Strong heartbeat, strong baby. I laughed, tears falling freely. Later that day, Blake showed up with a box of prenatal vitamins and a tiny pair of shoes. I didn't know what else to bring, he said. You didn't have to bring anything, I replied. But thank you. He sat down next to me. Can we start over, slowly? I don't know, I said, but we can start somewhere. And we did. Months passed. My due date approached. Blake never missed a doctor's appointment. He helped set up the nursery. He even learned how to swaddle using a YouTube video and a rolled-up towel. The day I went into labour, he drove me to the hospital like a man on a mission, pacing, panicking, practicing deep breaths like he was the one giving birth. Then came the moment, the cry, the tiny, perfect cry. It's a girl, the nurse said, placing her in my arms. Blake stood frozen. She's beautiful, he whispered. And in that moment, everything changed. He looked at me. I'll spend my life making this right, he said. And for the first time, I believed him. 2 weeks after we brought our daughter home, just as we were settling into late-night feedings and nap schedules, Blake got a call. His company, his pride, his life, was under investigation for internal mismanagement. Not by him, but by his partner, who'd been cooking the books behind his back. I might lose everything, he told me, pacing the nursery. I looked up from the crib. You won't. You're not alone anymore. He stopped pacing. Emma, if I lose my shares, my name, my finances, what do I have to offer her? I stood slowly, walked over and took his hand. Your presence, your effort, your love. That's what she needs. He nodded slowly, squeezing my hand. I'm not giving up, he said. Not on her, not on you, not on us. As the investigation unfolded, the stress was enormous. There were days I found Blake staring blankly at the window, holding our baby like she was the only thing keeping him afloat. But he never cracked, never once turned away. He testified. He fought for the company, for his name. And through it all, we became something stronger than just co-parents. We became a family. The day the charges were dropped and Blake was cleared, he came home with a bouquet of wildflowers and tears in his eyes. I have nothing left but the truth, he said. And that's all you ever needed, I replied. We sat together, the baby cooing between us. It wasn't a perfect story, but it was ours. And it was just getting started.